I also wanted to show you yung mga insecurities ko, my mindset shifts, and yung time na napaiyak din ako, and all those kind of things. Call center noon, nurse na ngayon. Charat! Hi, kumusta po tayo today? So, hi everyone, this is Odyssey. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another vlog. Today, we'll be talking about more on life update. I wanted to share to you how it has been for me, for someone na call center noon and now working sa cardio ngayon. So, it's easy for me to say, no? Kasi nahirapan ako ganyan. But I wanted really to show you a picture of it on how it had been for me. Gaano din kahirap sa akin. Especially, this is Deutsch. And of course, I have to learn new medical begriff, new medical terms. Since I'm working in special area, we do receive mga notfall scenarios, no? I have shared it to you na. We do receive talagang, ay nako talagang napapasign of the cross na lang talaga ako minsan. Pero totoo, I really talk to Papa God minsan. Lalo na talaga pag nahihirapan ako. Maybe you can do it too. For someone working in this demanding work setting, no, how was I able to thrive sa Deutsch? So, more than me sharing syempre yung mga tips, I always share it with you. I also wanted to show you yung mga insecurities ko, my mindset shifts, and yung time na napaiyak din ako, and all those kind of things, no? So that you would be able to know na hindi naman din madali para sa akin. But it doesn't mean kasi na because it was hard for you, doesn't mean you don't deserve to be there. Let me repeat that. Ang ganda nun, no? Just because it is hard for you, doesn't mean you don't deserve to be in that position. Kailangan lang natin na mas dobleng pagpupursige. So, before we get into mga serious topics, ganyan, yung time na napaiyak ako, ganyan, let me show you how it is for someone na wala ng hospital experience. I also started na hindi ako marunong mag-IV. Before ako nag-start bumalik sa profession as a nurse, andun yung insecurity ko na, ay, ang galing-galing nila mag-IV. Ako, hindi talaga ako marunong yan. Hindi ako marunong magkabit ng ikagi. Ano daw ba yan yung dry electrode and 12 electrode and mag-ikagi Schreiben daw, hindi ako marunong yan. Ano na nga girl yung normal rate, ano na nga yung rate nagtataki na, ay girl, huwag mo akong kausapin dyan. And then frozen ako, no? Talagang, ay may notfall. Or, hindi ko alam na notfall na pala, just because I don't know na yun na pala yun. I hope you get what I mean. So, I also started with that. And another blooper, no? We have this patient and meron na siya ng LVAD. LVAD is ano ba naman to? Nagko-combine left ventricle assisting device. So, meaning hindi na nagpa-pump ng maayos yung left ventricle niya. So, meron siya ng special device. May machine siya na karga-karga niya lagi. Lagi siyang may kumbaga tashe, no? Or bag in which yun yung nagko-control ng pump ng left ventricle niya. So, for someone nga na wala pa ng ganitong experience, girl, one time, akala ko yung tasya niya, yung ano lang, personal bag lang, I did not think na LVAD niya pala yun. So, sabi ko dun sa kanya, nung ihihiga na siya sa operasyon, Tish, ganyan, sabi ko, ay, akin na yung bag mo, ilagay ko lang dun sa gilid. Bitterness. Bukla ka ng taon. Kasi nga, wala pa ako ng ganitong experience. Hindi ko alam na LVAD, bakit ko kukunin yung puso niya, girl? Ay nako, may you speak grace and kindness sa sarili mo just because hindi mo pa alam, hindi mo pa kabisado. And whenever I say example, no, I never use the word BOBO, no? Hindi ko yun binibigkas or whatever. Just because I don't want that to be in my language. Kasi for me, no, if you read about mga affirmations, etc., what you speak, you attract. Diba? Parang if you always tell yourself na ganito ka, blah 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 ka, if you always do negative self-talk to yourself, your subconscious mind is papaniwalaan mo siya. So instead of those negative words, what I do is I really tap myself. Sige, okay lang, umiyak ka, 2 hours, kanyan. And then, you have to stand up again, no? Then I tell myself na, okay lang yan, you are learning 10 years ago. Alam ba naman ang alam mo dito? Kasi diba nasa call center ka. But now, you are helping other people's lives. So, kumalma ka, okay lang yan. You would be able to make it through next time. Girl, yun talaga yung sinasabi ko sa sarili ko. It comfort me to respect my own journey kasi the path I choose is hindi madali. It was a different scenario kung after college, di ba, nagtrabaho ka na as a nurse. For sure, after a few years time, expert ka na. Pero someone na for 9 years after graduating college, after passing the board exam for 9 years, wala akong binasang anatomy, medical terms, etc. Wala. And then bigla akong bumalik, syempre mahirap sa akin and I have to respect my own journey rather than comparing myself sa other people na expert na sa field. Let me tell you, ito pala yung gusto kong sabihin kanina. So let me tell you this, no? Some of us doesn't have a straight path. Some have harder path, kumbaga, than the others. But it doesn't mean that because you have a harder path, you don't deserve to be on that path. Diba? Ay, ang ganda kaya. So, since I have made a promise to myself no, na gusto ko ngang bumalik sa nursing profession ko, then that means na kailangan ko pa din talaga na mag-extra mag-aral, kailangan ko improve yung language ko, and kailangan ko ma-manage yung sarili ko whenever there is a not-fall scenario. So, yun yung pinagagawa ni Ate Girl for this past 6 months in order for me na makapag-proceed dito sa station na to. Kasi talagang gusto ko, alam mo yun, yung adrenaline na nakakatulong ka, etc. Talagang ang laking achievement sa pakiramdam. But that journey, no, wasn't easy. Do not retire on your dream. Ay, if I gave up based on those sa mga nangyari, etc., I really won't be able to fulfill my dream. Currently, I'm still fulfilling that dream, no? So, here are some scenarios na talagang, ay naku, nasigawan ako, napaiyak ako. So, one time, this is during NOTFAL. So, ito yung mga times na nagsisimula pa lang akong mag-assist sa NOTFAL. So, if you're working in Heart Cathlab, no, you know na sobrang dami natin ng drat. Iba yung Coro drat, Amplats, Impella drat, meron pa kami ng Safari, whatever. But through time, ngayon, kabisado mo na siya. Alam mo na yung feel ng ganitong drat, alam mo na yung color, etc. Pero during, sa beginning, no? So, we did time in. So, kumbaga, may pa-Uber gabi muna si doktor, no? Ito yung mga step-by-step na gusto kong gawin, etc. So, during the time, talagang, sobrang anxious ako kasi nga, not-fall yung situation. So, pag pungtirin niya, ito yung gusto niyang drat. So, nag-start kami sa venous, pungtirin, nagbigay ako ng Coro drat, pungtirin siya sa arterial. Nasigawan niya ako, girl, na, oh, di si drat! Ay, talaga, girl, na lahat ng tao na nandun is nakarinig. Ang dami ng drat nun sa table during that time, no? Hindi ko alam kung anong specific drat yung kailangan niya. Tapos talagang mangiyak-ngiyak ako during that time. Pero kailangan mo mag-assist, diba? So, after ng procedure na yun, no? Kinausap ako nung doktor. Sabi niya, sorry kasi nakapasigaw ako. Now, I do like yung mga ganong feedback na even though nasigawan ako, it was unutig na sumigaw, pero it was needed during the time kasi kasi pag nagpungtiri naman talaga sa arterial is talagang madugo. And syempre, gusto namin i-fermitin yun. Do understand yung mga ganong hectic scenarios kasi minsan talagang tawag lang naman sa pangailangan. So, in not-fall scenario, you cannot really say na, ay hala, hindi ko pa yan naaral, or ay pwede bang wag mo na yung case na yan, wag mo na yung not-fall case na yan kasi ayoko pa, hindi pa ako ready. Or, hala, pang C1 yung word shots, pwede bang pang B1 muna? And also sa mga mentors sa amin, no, I do talk to them sometimes na ano ba yung tips na maibibigay nyo, ganyan. One of them said na wag mong i-personal lahat kasi whenever they say something, parang they're only trying to be careful kasi instabil yung patient. And we wanted to make yung procedure, kumbaga, matapos faster. Kaya parang, pakinggan mo and then labas lang. Especially if hindi friendly yung pakasabi. It also helps to think na parang, since we have this kind of boundary, no, work-life and balance, colleague mo lang naman sila. So, pag pumasok ka, makikita mo sila 8 hours, ganyan. And then, pag umuwi ka, wala na. So, I was also lucky kasi during my anarbaitang, no, 3 kaming magkakasama. So, nung umpisa, I have this kind of insecurity kasi mas madali sila kumbaga makapag-adjust. But, I have to consider na yung isa, nagwork na din naman kasi sa Heart Cathlab. So, kumbaga sa kanya, different shift lang naman ng station. And then the other one is, since 6 years na siya dito sa Deutschland, malamang mas improve na din naman talaga yung Deutsch niya. And, ako, 4 years pa lang dito sa Germany. So, when you are insecure, you have this kind of thought na buti pa sila, naintindihan nila agad. Language kasi nila yun, magaling sila mag-Deutsch. Notice na, if I didn't catch myself, having this kind of negative self-talk, I would be parang vacuumed in that negative loop na hindi ako makaalis. I want you to recognize that we have that kind of inferiority, as a Filipino, as Auslander, as foreigner dito sa Deutschland. Inferiority dito sa Deutschland just because one of our insecurities is really the language. It would always come into surface, lalo na pag nahihirapan tayo. As I also talk to them, paano mo nga ito ginawa, ganyan, so that they would be able to give me some tips. Because of that parang open forum, parang open communication, open conversation, sila din, nagsasabi sila ng insecurity nila na, ay, ako din nasigawan ng ganitong doktor. So, it helped me in a way to think na, ay, hindi lang pala ako. Bakit lagi kong inisip na ako yung may problema? Alam mo yun? Here are some tips that I would be able to share, Now, this would already depend kung saang station kayo, So, really, one is extra learning. Hindi enough yung stock knowledge mo lang, ganyan, kasi you really have to understand. There's a difference between knowing the routine versus understanding the routine. You have to think, kumbaga, 2 steps ahead of time. So, and also, I want you na take time balikan yung mga topics na hindi mo maintindihan. So, for me, for example, paulit-ulit kong inaral yung X-ray angulation. So, minsan kasi talaga yung mga doktor, ang bibilis nila na mag-change ng angulation. Sa bahay, I have to study kung anong artery yung makikita ko pag si doktor nag-ara o caudal versus nag-ela o cranial or nag-caudal api, mga ganun. Talagang para makasabay ako sa kabilisan niya talaga. So, I didn't have to tell myself na ano ba yan, hindi mo pa naman yan makabisado, but rather, knock on knock, ay, ito sa LAD kami nakatingin, ito sa circumflex kami nakatingin, girl, makakabisado sa makakabisado mo na yan. On my first 2 weeks, ito yung madugo kong time dito nga sa station na to, na talagang grabe yung stress ko. I was studying every day. Hanggang I have changed it every other day, 3 times a week, ganyan. But you have to do that kind of adjustment on your own. Kailan ka ba mas may time? After Frudins ba? Or before Spätdienst ba? Or Wochenende ba? You have to block a specific time of your day so that you have the time para mag-study. Another tip, really don't give up when it's hard. Don't retire on your daydream. Na-experience ko din nung umpisa, during Einarbeitung na yung mentor ko absent. But rather me focusing na absent siya, sino magtuturo sa akin? I pray to Papa God, tulungan mo po ako. Papa God, sudrit lang kami ngayon. May ako yung circulating nurse sa 2 tish. Ang nabigay sa akin ni Papa God, focus and presence of mind. And without those hard experiences, I don't think that I would be sharp and I would be more prepared sa mga notfall scenarios just because nalagpasan ko na yung mga ganong hard scenarios. And another thing, I also want you to note down your small achievements. Kinuha ko yung notebook ko. So this was my notebook pag nag-aaral. Ayan. Kadami ng si ate girl ha. Sulat si ate girl talaga ha. O, kita nyo yan. So, basta. Nagsulat si ate girl. Nag-aaral nga kasi si ate girl. But, on the back of this notebook, saan na yun? My first time doing CPI with Arts Align and not as a third person. And then, a colleague of mine congratulated me na ang galing ko daw and ang bilis kong matuto. January 20. Dr. Blah said I did a good job nung nag-assist daw ako sa kanya sa koro. Mas naintindihan ko na daw. 2 colleagues of mine said na I did a great job and I did assist si ganitong doktor during PCI procedure. We used ganitong stents, etc. and also EVUs, and I was able to assist them properly. And then another comment from a doctor, uy, ilang months ka pa lang dito, pero naintindihan mo na yung procedures natin, yung routine natin. And another one na talagang natuwang-tuwa ako. Sabi sabi nung isang doktor nung patapos na yung procedure na du hast gut gemacht. Tapos danke schön. Medyo nag-blush pa ako. Tapos ang ginawa niya, kwento niya pa dun sa isa mentor ko, tapos sa colleague namin na, huy, ang galing nun ni Odyssey. Alam mo yun, na nakakatawa na I wanted to focus on those things rather than me telling myself naman na ano naman tong Deutsch mo, hindi mo naintindihan. Kasi I do think, no, na if you really come to think of it, mas madami yung mga achievements, yung mga small wins, rather than mga negative self-talk na sinasabi natin sa isip natin minsan. So, wag mo yung pakinggan minsan si brain mo. Minsan, gusto kanyang saktan or paluhain. Charat! Pero, you're stronger than that. You're tougher than that. So, balik na tayo. So, looking back, no, less anxious na ako during nutfal and kasabisado ko na yung routine namin and then kaya ko na mag-parallel work, kaya ko na mag-multitasking. Last week, for example, na may nutfal na naman kami, no, sabi nung colleague ko, ikaw yung mag-dish. Go sa mga ganitong mga mga hard scenarios kasi dito ka titibay. And then after that procedure, sabi niya, wir haben gut gemacht na. Then I answered, ja, finde ich auch. Alam mo yun, huwag kang matakot, girl. Let this be a reminder na kaya mo yan. There are times really na you have to do things scared. You just have to do it anyway. I told you, no, na how is always with Papa God. When I started with this Heart Cathlab, malay ko ba na ganito siya kahirap? But it's also fulfilling at the same time. Sometimes when you want to go after your dream, hindi siya logical. In a way kasi, no, na if I told myself na, bakit dyan ka sa station na yan, wala ka naman ng experience, di talagang nag-give up na lang ako, hindi na ako magpupursige. But then I want you to understand na the how is always with Papa God. You just have to hold on to your what and why, no? Na parang for me, gusto kong maging nurse, gusto kong matuto on how to respond sa emergency situation, gusto ko i-develop yung clinical eye ko, and the rest, leave it up to Him. Kasi if you would just focus on yourself na hindi ka para dyan kasi wala ka ng experience, you would just give up. Sometimes when you dream, don't think about logical thought, maging delusional ka, go, porsigido ka, proceed mo yan, go, viter ka lang. So, my prayers before, no, had been, Papa God, sana relax today, sana enspant lang today, sana wala kami ng notfall. It has changed to, Papa God, kahit ano yung scenario or cases na ibibigay mo sa akin today, just stand beside me and guide me kung ano yung kailangan kong gawin and malalagpasan natin to. Ayun. Love Odyssey. I had to write down this vlog kasi this is something very close to my heart, no, yung mga na-share ko kasi talaga namang madugo nung umpisa pero still standing strong. Kahit anong pagsubok sa buhay, girl, I want you to know na kaya mo yan. No, go after your dream. Allow yourself to dream. Ay! So, thank you so much for being with me today and I'll see you in the next. Alam mo yung next nating pag-uusapan about retirement kasi these are things na had been buggering in my head, no, na I did research and gusto ko tong i-share para lahat tayo matuto. So, I'll see you in the next. Love you.